Back to Basics, Part 2, Anomalies of Energy and Consciousness. During the journey of exploration into our creativity, when looking at what information was needed to assist individuals becoming a conscious creator, it required a deeper look at the relationship of energy and consciousness. This relationship was addressed in the discussion topic, Back to Basics, Part 1, The Mud, the Stuff of Creation, viewed from the creativity perspective. From within the creativity perspective, creation can be seen as composed of arising of and arising from energy and consciousness, and in many ways is a dance between these two concepts. In looking at energy and consciousness, it became clear there are facets or anomalies of energy and consciousness that are not effectively understood relative to their impact on our creativity. These anomalies suggest that the way energy and consciousness appears in physical creation and normally understood is not necessarily the way it works in the non-physical realms of creation, which we are not capable of sensing. Yet the non-physical and the unseen aspects of energy and consciousness greatly influence how we respond to the world we inhabit. As a result of what we come to believe as a result of the experiences we have had with the unseen aspects of energy and consciousness, these anomalies suggest how we normally perceive and understand energy and consciousness is incomplete. It was observed these anomalies can greatly affect our creativity, creative imagination, and our lives. The anomalies most significant for our creativity are presented in this discussion. The goal of this discussion is to give some understanding as to why it's important to be open to the possibility of some of our most strongly held beliefs could be wrong, and to be open to other possibilities, if not a seemingly magic within creation. Before we proceed, here it needs to be remembered that the focus of this recording is directed at empowering our creativity and our creative imagination, and uses the creativity perspective. It is directed at stretching our perceptions about reality. Some of the concepts presented are analogies and serve a pedagogical purpose. One should not assume they are exactly the way creation works, but are effective for our creativity and the exploration of our creativity and of our creations. Although these concepts may be used literally in some situations, you are encouraged to see them symbolically. One source of the anomalies appear to arise from the nature of the human mind and our mind's limited perception. As discussed in the recording, creation does not work the way the human mind thinks. The issue is that anything that is experienced and communicated by a human being is filtered by the human mind. As such, whatever is experienced can only be described in physical terms and limited by the physical experience the human being has had. Whether we experience something not previously seen or experienced, our mind has no memories or beliefs to properly characterize what was experienced. So when the mind experiences something truly new and never before experienced, mind will look to explain it the best it can based on its past experiences. So what this means is there will be a part that will be inadequately addressed or totally missed. This is what has happened with both our understanding of both energy and awareness. The question is, what lies outside the perception of the human mind and influences what we create? We live in a sea of energy, and in many ways we are like a fish swimming in a sea of water. Assume the fish is aware it is in water and contemplates what water is, and even thinks about how it might explore the composition of water. However, without something like arms and the ability to develop the apparatus to separate water into hydrogen and oxygen, it will never be able to explore that which underlies the water. So too in the sea of energy and consciousness. We are like fish and may never have the ability to actually access and explore what may lie within the energy and consciousness, because we do not have what will be needed to explore what lies within the energy and consciousness. However, if we think it is impossible to explore what lies within energy and consciousness, we will never see what is possible to explore. The problem the human mind faces is the human experience pulled our awareness into a physical form of creation, namely physical creation. But physical creation does not reflect overall how the universe works. It is only an aspect of a much larger and vast creation. We can look at it with a water analogy. For example, we can know all about water as a liquid and how it works, but knowing how liquid water works tells us nothing of how steam works or ice works. There are things that we can do with water that we cannot do with ice or steam, and there are things we can do with steam and ice we cannot do with the water. We can use this water analogy to show the limitations of our analogies to explain the unseen. Consider the three phases of water: ice, liquid water, and steam. Creation can be seen to be made up of all forms of water: steam, liquid, and ice. In this analogy, we look at physical creation and the human being within physical creation being made up of only liquid water, and is only about the liquid form of water. Steam and ice, in this analogy, are seen as what make up the non-physical realms. Being human in physical creation, we can then look at all that can be observed about liquid water. We may come to know and understand how liquid water works, but what can be observed tells us nothing about how steam and ice works, for they exist in the unseen. To understand how steam and ice works, one has to somehow leave the world of liquid water. But it has been said, correctly or incorrectly, all arises out of the same stuff of creation, so that which is not physical creation will act like liquid water. There may be a glimmer of things that look like liquid water. For example, steam can flow and ice can support something resting on it like water, but nevertheless, steam and ice are different. Now, to think a few glimmers of perception tells us all we need to know, and that we can extrapolate what we know about water to ice and steam, we are making a huge mistake. We assume the unseen of steam and ice acts like liquid water. There is an old adage, as above, so below, as within, as without, that many believe, although it is seemingly true in some cases. However, nothing can be farther from the truth. We fail to see how much anything observed and experienced about the unseen that is attempted to be explained based on what the human sees can be incorrect. We may get a glimmer about the unseen, but they are ultimately inadequate to explain the unseen. Also, we can ask questions: is there something that lies within the water we do not know about? Something more fundamental than water itself? Unless we look at what lies within the water, there's much we will not know about the nature of water. If we look at what gives rise to water, namely the atomic and quantum structure of water, of oxygen and hydrogen, this understanding can lead to additional understanding about steam and ice, even if we cannot physically enter that world of steam and ice. So to the issue of energy and consciousness. Is there something within them we have not yet explored that can help us to better understand the unseen, non-physical world, or we may be like the fish in the sea that do not have the means to explore that which makes up water? The second facet of the human experience relative to our creativity, which give rise to anomalies, is the human mind does not see the whole picture. A simple example is you witness an individual being held at gunpoint. Obviously, the perception is the individual is being robbed, for the individual takes their wallet out of their pocket and hands their wallet over to the other individual holding the gun, who takes the money out of the wallet. However, if you see around the corner a director with a film crew, you realize you're witnessing the filming of a movie scene. Instantaneously, you realize your original perception and analysis of the situation was incorrect. But if you never saw the movie crew, you would always believe the individual was being robbed. This is how our mind works for every observation it makes. We draw conclusions about what we observe based on our subjective perspective of what we are observing. Normally, we never question our interpretations of our observations. So here the problem is, we believe our perceptions are correct when we do not see the bigger picture of what is occurring as we make subjective conclusions. The journey of exploration into our creativity revealed there is a bigger picture to events we do not normally see because we do not choose to ask if there's a bigger picture and look to see it. The question is, what is the bigger picture? Two big picture items are our individual life path and the life path of both the planet and a variety of features on the Earth. The existence of the individual life path for each of us became very clear during the exploration of our creativity. That is, each of us have a reason for incarnating, and it can be best described as a life path which governs our life as we transit through our life from our birth to our death. It is not a destiny as such. Rather, it's sort of like the rain falling on the east side of the Rocky Mountains. The water is going to flow down the mountain through the Great Plains into the Mississippi and into the Gulf of Mexico and then into the Atlantic Ocean. As such, you can say there are points along the way that we will transit, and you can say we're destined to be in certain places at certain times as the water flows down the mountain to the sea. but what occurs at any point is very improvisational. Additionally, we have been given a free will. We have been given talents and abilities and are faced with a variety of different situations. We are given the freedom to explore improvisationally and respond as we wish, or simply go with our own programming based upon whatever programming we received. Relative to the planet, it is relatively clear our life is relatively short in the eyes of the planet. We live maybe somewhere between a few days to maybe 100 years if we have good fortune to live that long. So, relative to the planet itself, the planet has been around for millions of years. It has its own life path. On this life path of the planet are superimposed other life forms. If you wish, you could say that humanity and human consciousness has an unfolding or evolving path on the planet. If you look back over time, you can kind of see how the human psyche has been evolving. Similarly, in the same way, there are different animals that you can look at and you can talk about them evolving from the study of evolution. Or you can see what we perceive as their evolution as only their unfolding life path, and we are observing their life path unfolding over time. But in any case, when we incarnate with the current unfolding life path of the planet and the life path of whatever society that we incarnate, including the human collective, where it is at a given point in time when we incarnate. Additionally, within this collective, we can be in a male or female collective, both of which have separate unfolding life paths. So, in general, there are all these multiple life paths overlaying with each other and intersecting with each other at any given point in time. So, when we look to see something occurring, the question is, can we stand back and look at the bigger picture? In doing so, we can see that we may only be playing a role within a particular facet of a much larger unfolding life path, both within ourselves and within whomever we are interacting with individually as a human and collectively. We are players within a larger orchestration. In realizing we have a life path, as does the planet and many of the life forms on the planet, there of course is the question, what is the nature of reality in the unseen realms that give rise to these life paths? Do you really think the human perception can adequately explain what is occurring in the unseen realms? This leads to the third anomaly. The third aspect of the human experience of our creativity, which gives rise to anomalies as to aspects of energy and consciousness, is what lies within or beyond the place of no-thing-ness, the quantum field or the void out of which all creation appears to arise. But here our interest is the place of no-thing-ness. It is here we face the ultimate source of the anomalies about energy and consciousness. In the discussion Back to Basic Part 1, it was said that from the creativity perspective, a way of looking at creation relative to the mud or the stuff out of which creation arises, everything arises, for the lack of better words, from a oneness and a substance which cannot be adequately described. But in its essence, it gives rise to what human experience as energy, consciousness, and a field of infinite possibilities. It has been described as a quantum field in science and a place of no-thingness or no form in mysticism. Yet it gives rise to the form we experience as creation. But I found no one or no reference that really talks about what lies within or beyond the void. Here again we are that fish in the sea that does not have what is necessary to analyze what underlies or lies within the water. It is also said, from the creativity perspective, you can consider energy and consciousness as different perspectives of the same material. That is, with energy as consciousness and with consciousness as energy. Here a note needs to be made that reference to the unseen encompasses two aspects. One is the unseen containing the void of creation, or that no-thingness. The second is the unseen includes all of the other realms of creation which appear or are suggested to exist. Energy consciousness, as we currently experience the information, points to something beyond these in the realm of no-thingness and beyond the concept of the field. Whether you consider a realm of angels, intergalactic realities, or anything similar, they are created realities and also arise out of the same stuff of creation. Physical reality is the reality where the laws and observation of the physics on Earth and in the planets, stars, and galaxies around the Earth work. We need to understand that other realities can exist that have different laws of physics governing it, such that the concepts of energy and consciousness may not seem to work as they do in physical creation. On the other side, the ability to make something happen would be a form of energy and consciousness. Yet, some of the effects can spill over into our awareness into physical creation. We think we understand energy and consciousness, but our perspective of energy and consciousness that we have is obtained from our experiences in physical creation. The experiences in physical creation do not necessarily give us a full understanding of the energy or consciousness in any non-physical realm. Most of us have assumed energy and consciousness work the same in the physical realm as the non-physical realm, but we do not know if it's true. Similarly, what lies in the place of no-thingness may be quite different than anything we understand at this time. Now, there is an aspect of our consciousness that does extend into the non-physical realm, although we may not be consciously aware of it, and there is an aspect of our energy that we perceive that extends beyond the physical. Here again, the common assumption is the assumptions of our energy and consciousness that extend into the non-physical realm works the same way as it does in the physical realm. It needs to be understood, whatever the stuff is that underlies all of creation only looks like energy and consciousness from within physical creation. Going back to our water example, energy and consciousness is what liquid water looks like, but does not tell us what it looks like as ice or as steam, nor does it tell us anything about how the hydrogen and oxygen that makes up the liquid water works. The stuff out of which creation forms is not really understood. There is evidence to suggest it has aspects of consciousness, aspects of energy, aspects of infinite possibilities, to name only three. Quite frankly, it appears it is beyond our understanding. So we can expect experiences of seemingly magical or mystical experiences, paradoxical or simply not fully understood. The question that can be asked is, how can I, the author, make any claims about understanding what lies outside physical creation and what may exist that give rise to physical creation after stating above such information is not available? The answer is the observations made by the author suggest what is stated here exists. Admittedly, it cannot be proven scientifically. Nevertheless, what is attempted to be communicated in the Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity material has been an effective model or paradigm for understanding our creativity and what is possible. In time, as additional information is gained, the author fully expects this understanding to be replaced with an understanding that is more accurate. Fourth source of anomaly: as a human being, we experience both energy and consciousness. Our human mind has experiences and memories of energy and how it seems to act, and has memories of consciousness and how consciousness seems to operate. Our human mind thinks it understands both energy and consciousness based on the experience it has had. Relative to the energy, the human mind has done some very impressive and profound things with the understanding of energy. We only need to look outward at what humans have created. We can and have created a cadre of individuals educated in our collective understanding of physical creation and energy to create such phenomenal structures. Unfortunately, the human mind's understanding of consciousness has not been quite on par with the same level as the understanding of energy, especially relative to the creative power available to consciousness. It can be frightening to think our human consciousness, through its power to observe and analyze concepts, have given us weapons that can destroy the world. What is possible if the same consciousness is sought to understand what is the depth and breadth of our creative power and creative ability? There have been some individuals, through the focus of their mind, have displayed phenomenal abilities to heal themselves. There are also many of the things what mystics of India have reported is obtained in the cities. 8 paranormal, supernatural, or magical abilities, to include the ability to change one's body size to the size of an atom, to use to travel to subtle realms creation, the ability to expand the body to any size, the ability to make a body light, to levitate, the ability to make the body heavy, the ability to obtain everything, the ability to see one's wishes, the ability to gain lordship over everything, the power to attract and control all things. Then there are the reported energy phenomena that seem to require a particular focus of the mind, such as seeing the future, remote viewing, channeling, spirit glides, conversation with individuals who passed, near-death experience, past life experiences, experience in other realities, ancestral healing, energy healing, spontaneous healing, the mind-body connection, and other experiences where the individual's perception seems to transcend what we would call the understanding of the traditional human mind. Although all of these types and kinds of experience and abilities, and many not listed here, have been achieved, there are schools and traditions which try and teach these abilities. However, their impact does not seem to be in proportion with what has been observed in understanding energy. In many ways, all of these experiences are playing with and exploring consciousness, but there is a question: what is it about consciousness that humans are missing? It is currently said that the understanding of physics and quantum mechanics is only now giving scientific proof and verification of concepts long talked about by the mystics for hundreds, if not thousands of years. There is no doubt that many of these concepts being verified by quantum mechanics have been around in some form for millennia. There have been abilities accessed by some. However, even with many spiritual and mystical training and education programs, there never was any collective action with the comparable results of impacting humanity as humanity's understanding of the physical laws of physical creation. But there is an underlying issue for this. Not to belittle or be disparaging about these spiritual and mystical traditions and achievements, for some individuals have obtained phenomenal abilities and insights in these traditions. However, the impact has not been seen as significant as the impact that has resulted in the understanding of energy. In the exploration of our creativity, it appears the issue is a lack of an in-depth understanding of our consciousness and really what it is and what we are as creators. There have been inadequate, if not lack of recognition and consideration for our uniqueness as a conscious creative entity. We have not really learned to work with the uniqueness of each individual. Rather, we still look at humans as a member of a herd of animals. This is because we all have a similar human body, and there is much we can agree upon as to what we experience. However, what appears to lie at the root of this issue with consciousness is about the fact that we are very uniquely different, and our perceptions are unique to us, and all of our perceptions are subjective. Additionally, the journey of exploration into our creativity suggests we all have different individual purposes for being incarnate, although many perceive us all being on the same journey. We can readily agree on the physical phenomena which we share, but our perceptions are totally unique to us, and anything we perceive that is non-physical cannot be disputed or argued. They are our perceptions. This is where the issue of understanding of consciousness arises. We assume individuals should perceive creation and any of its aspects the same way when we do not. We cannot, and our uniqueness prevents that. That is what uniqueness is all about. For some reason, the human mind's perception of consciousness seems unable to escape its past understanding of what it means to be a human being. The exploration of the depth and breadth of our consciousness as it can be explored from within the human body as a human being is the new frontier. Our creativity is the doorway to that exploration. First, there are four aspects of consciousness which can be confused with each other when the function of each is unrealized. There is a power in the focus of our intent and of our awareness to become the causal creator. Then it is we create our experiences by what we think and believe without realizing how we go about doing it. There are theories about how we create and many practices and approaches that can be used. However, I've seen none 100% always correct. Why is that? One reason why is most do not want to spend their time looking at what does not work. They only want that which they think works. The second aspect of consciousness is the automatic ability to characterize our experiences based on our past experiences. One result is individuals are puzzled as to why they cannot escape their past simply because they do not understand how their mind keeps projecting the past. There is the need to learn how to be out of mind and open to what the moment provides. The third facet of consciousness is that most are unaware of how their mind has the ability to sense and perceive energy within our beings that lies outside the five senses. Given our uniqueness and subjective perceptions, there may be no other who perceives what we perceive. Yet rather than learn to understand what we perceive and do not own our own exploration, we will look to others to tell us when, in fact, they may not really know what we perceive. The fourth issue about consciousness is that our mind's interpretation of anything we sense is based upon what we think and believe in our past experiences. This all boils down to whatever we do and experience is determined by our consciousness and how and what it thinks and believes, and we each are very unique. Only in stepping past what we think and believe will we begin to experience what is truly possible with our consciousness. Additionally, when it comes to our consciousness, the journey of exploration into our creativity revealed that we each have a unique life path and there are reasons for us incarnating. These are determining a direction for our life as we transit physical creation. Here you will have to do your own experiments to verify the truth of what is stated here. In any case, without recognizing our life path and our unique reason or reasons for incarnating, influencing our life, and learning to work with them, we will be unable to have the success we desire in life for whatever we seek to do. Then there is the power of our intuition we access through our consciousness. It is a composite and an integration of our ability to sense energy and the uniqueness of our perception to characterize energy. The intuition is our ability to communicate with the life forces in the unseen realm unique to who and what we are. It is here the way our creative imagination characterizes what we experience becomes crucial. We need to look carefully at what we have come to think and believe and whether or not it is serving our uniqueness, or have we bought into the ways others think and believe creation works. Our intuition will be our greatest asset. To take the journey of clearing the house, so to speak, to get rid of all that does not serve us, our intuition will be our greatest asset. We simply need to ask, how do we do it, and then follow the intuitive guidance that we receive.